Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Akanksha Tyagi, founder of EduMind Solutions. So, after a long posting on relationships and how to handle relationships, the questions you were asking in the messenger box, the questions you were asking at a number. After that, we are today here with our panel speakers on the topic Relationship Decode. Here we bring the secret of healthy relationship, the secrets of maintaining good relationships, whether it's at your workplace, whether it's with your kids, your in-laws, the most complicated one. So here we have our experts today, uh, Miss Savita Sinha. She is the author of Rising in Love with Your In-Laws. Excuse me for that. Then we have Ashita Mathur, the clinical psychologist, and Reena Singh, the leadership coach, wherein she'll be talking about the work-life relationship, the relationship with your colleagues at the workplace. So let's start with that. But before that, I would request each one of you, people who are watching us, please share the video because we want everybody to listen to this amazing speakers on decoding the secret behind relationship, how to get that healthy relationship, how to get that relationship which help you grow as an individual. So let's start with the Ashita Mathur, the clinical psychologist. She'll be talking about relationship with the kids. Before that, I just want to understand, and this question is for three of you. Is there anything called perfect relationship?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
I am quite correct in this. There is nothing called perfect relationship.
Perfect.
So when I'm talking about that parameter, a healthy relationship or a good relationship or a positive relationship, that can be something that leads to growth of you as an individual
Yes.
instead of calling it as a perfect relationship.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with Ashita Mathur. Please throw some light on the relationship between parents and kids because there's always assertiveness when we talk about kids and parents' relationship. Because parents are the ones who try to control their kids. Parents are the one who have their set of conditioning. If we talk about their childhood, that comes into their mind, and then they try to impose those things to their kids. हमने ऐसा नहीं किया था बचपन में हम चाहते कि तुम करो हम तो नहीं कर पाए बट तुम करो
Tum karo.
यस
So yes, Akanksha, it's a beautiful relationship. Parent-child relationship is really a wonderful relationship because ये journey start करना अपने आप में, that's a like coming of a wish coming truth for each parent. मतलब हमारे आप इंडिया में देखोगे कितने लोग हैं who are willing to be parents but they face some or the other issues, be it health issues or any other issues. So having a child is definitely something very special, and you share a very special bond with your child as a parent, because your journey starts at the time when you conceive a child, when mother conceives a child. The relation starts at that moment, right? So yes, जैसा आपने बोला आकांक्षा कि it is all about putting our wishes. हम सोचते हैं कि जो मैंने अपने बचपन में नहीं किया, but you know what, becoming parent is because of our children, and they all have come with some or the other quality. They have come up with some or the other thing which their journey has to unfold, and we as a parent has two important roles. One is showing warmth and second is control. So when I say warmth, it is all about the love, that is unconditional acceptance,
right
being non-judging, whatever your child is good at, supporting him, or encouraging his creativity,
Mhm.
building a lot of curiosity, whatever you can give to your child to explore new things. हम देखते हैं बच्चा जब पैदा होता है तभी वो अपने आसपास की चीजें एक्सप्लोर करने लगता है. He tries to pick up and grab new toys, he listens to the sounds, he listens to the music. You try to explore new colors as he starts seeing, the vision is developed. So every stage has some or the other, other thing to explore. हम उस जर्नी में बच्चे के लिए कितने सपोर्टिव हैं, दैट इज द warmth we are looking for. That is the warmth the child actually needs. और जहां हम कंट्रोल की बात कर रहे हैं, so Akanksha, it is all about, keeping the child safe when there is something which is harmful for the child or for other people around. That is where the control has to come in, and we have to see how much of that is required, how much of warmth and how much of control is required. Bringing in this balance is very important as a parent, and to develop a proper bonding and a relationship with your child.
Absolutely. Here I have a question. As I said, 2 points: warmth and control. Warmth, I can understand, wherein we show empathy to our kid, wherein we try to
Yes.
relate to the instance that is happening with him or her at that point of time. But when I talk about control, uh, control is somewhat, as a parent, understand it like, if I say it is nothing, you are not supposed to do this. If I'm putting a regulation rule on my kid, they try to do that only. They don't understand the control part. So when I'm talking about warmth and control, they are completely opposite to each other.
Yes. Yes.
So as a parent, it becomes very difficult to be multifaceted, because it is more of like, at one point of time you are being very affectionate, you're being very loving. At one point of time you are being the teacher kind of a parent, as very assertive and very authoritative. So how a parent can imbibe that in himself or herself? Or is there very important to have that control instead of, we can say, something experiential, or probably something that kids can relate to, because they don't relate to control in a
So
certain level.
yes, Akanksha, absolutely. You what you are mentioning is right. It's not that easy to bring in balance. शायद ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि ये theoretical बात हो रही है, and it is not easy. मतलब जितना बोलना easy है, करना उतना ही मुश्किल है. Yes, but also that कि control करने का मतलब ये नहीं है that you always have to, dictate or tell your child that this should be done or that has to be done.
Right.
It has to be come in a way that the child picks up the behavior you are expecting. आप क्या expect कर रहे हो, right? And you explain them that what is expected out of them, right? So say for example, when you are saying कि नहीं जो मैंने खाना दिया है वो खाना ही पड़ेगा, right? Rather than having discussion, एक discussion अगर healthy discussion हो, that is much better. Healthy discussion ho that this is a nutrient diet and our body is something which needs all these nutrients. So agar ek discussion time mein you give them choice in a form of, game, you play a game. जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं, when they start learning about vegetables and fruit, at that moment when you teach them this is the healthy vegetable, this is the healthy fruit that we must have, and this is the, say suppose carrot, this is good for eyes, right? So when we teach children, we have to look for uh, teaching moment. What is the right time to put in our uh, our control? What is that we are trying to teach them,
And I
rather
feel,
than yes.
yeah, Akansha is talking about control word. आशिता जी के अगर मैं वर्ड्स को रिकैप करूं तो मेरे ख्याल में हम लोग डिसिप्लिनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट नॉट कंट्रोल बट डिसिप्लिनिंग with right explanation where child is able to relate to the logic whatever is being taught. And the moment we kind of get into control, वो कहते हैं ना, if you spare the rod you spoil the child. ये पुराने टाइम की जो हमारी कहावत, और हमारे अंदर तो बहुत कूट कूट के भरी हुई है वो चीज. तो बड़ा मुश्किल है. Like we are victims of victims, by the way. And we are we are trying to raise kids of with a lot of happiness, and we are victims ourselves. So if we understand this logic, and we try and make efforts of having a healthy conversation around understanding what the child would approve. The moment we kind of get angry and raise our voice or slap a child, the child is mentally taking an approval that this is okay to do because my father and mother is doing it to me. It is okay for me to do it to
Right.
someone else.
Yes, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
So that message goes
So,
very strong and deep into the child. So we are talking about what Ashita is saying is explaining, uh, choosing your moments of helping the person understand, the
person.
child understand and relate. Sometimes mothers are very good in that. At times I have heard mothers saying, अच्छा ये बेटे ये सब्जी खा लो या ये दूध पी लो and you will become the cricketer of your, you want to be, you know, you will be Virat Kohli or something. बच्चा फटाफट फटाफट खा लेता है thinking कि मैं विराट कोहली बन जाऊंगा ये खा के. The kind of logics teachers are capable of and mothers are capable of giving to the child.
Right, right.
Absolutely. So I see a comment here. Monica ji is saying that we need to explain the logic behind it, and that has to be through experience and discussion and giving choices to the child.
Absolutely. So it is more of the disciplined part that we need to teach our children. And as we always say, that children love what they, I mean, children learn what they see. So if a
Yes.
parent is doing something, as Ravina ji also emphasized on, as parents are doing something, the children are ought to learn that only. So it's up to us how we show them that direction to them. And if I talk about the different stages of childhood, starting from the
Yes.
infant, then toddler, then there comes this very complicated and rebellious age called teenage, wherein the
Yes.
child is not an adult yet, but have this mindset that I am the superhero or the superheroine, and they start dreaming about something, and they don't want to listen, and they react like adults only, though they don't have that judging capability of good and bad, but they do that, and
Yes.
then they tend to not to listen to their parents at that particular time, and that becomes a little frustrating for parents as well and the kids as well. Usually, people name it as generation gap, but as a parent and once a kid, I don't think that it is a generation gap. It is much more of the understanding and connection between parents and child. What's your take on that?
Absolutely, Akanksha. What is needed is that, you know, चाहे हम किसी भी एज ग्रुप की बात करें, बच्चा हमें कैसे दिखता है, ही सी अस एज एन अडल्ट, एज अ ग्रोन अप.
Right,
तो अगर हम उसके लेवल पे आके बात करें, सो इफ यू bring an adolescent child to me, and if I don't discuss the things that interests him, like maybe games or relationship with opposite gender, और ये सारे जो इश्यूज इस एज पे आने लगते हैं, एंड जहाँ उनको दे ऑल्सो हैव टू फेस peer pressure, तो जो फ्रेंड्स कर रहे हैं उनको वही करना है. So we have to discuss all these things. We have to, respect their views. Uh, Consider what is the that is happening with their friends, how they are doing, and also teaching them. Also teaching them through through your experience, through your stories, that how you did during uh, uh, your period. आप जब उस एज में थे तब आपने क्या किया. So, with every age, slight patterns changes, but yes, uh, again, that child is also looking for, acknowledgement, appreciation. क्योंकि जब हम adolescence की बात कर रहे हैं, वो एक stage आ जाती है when they are looking for freedom, कि मैं सब अब अपने आप कर सकता हूँ.
right, right.
राइट. तो वो वाली एक्सेप्टेंस एक पेरेंट्स के अंदर भी आना, टू लेट योर चाइल्ड टेक डिसीजन, हैव ट्रस्ट एंड फेथ इन देम, एंड बी अ सपोर्ट टू देम,
Right. But
रेदर देन सेइंग कि ये जो कर रहे हो ये गलत है, ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए, तुमको ऐसा
right,
करना चाहिए. Rather than that, be open to listening to that.
But
क्योंकि कई
that's
बार
a very
हम
challenging situation for parents as well because they have that constant fear in their mind because that age is somewhat like dagmagane wala age and they have that constant fear in their mind since they're not listening to us, they're more into their friend circle. So they might get into some wrong path and this and that. They have this constant fear.
So Akanksha, you know what?
So when we talk about relationship,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes, please.
yes. So when you are saying this, you know, यहाँ पे एक आ जाता है image parents का for self. I should
Okay.
not fail as a parent.
Absolutely.
मुझे तो कंट्रोल ही करना है. मुझे तो कंट्रोल करना ही है. I should not fail as a parent. That is not the
Absolutely.
child's requirement. That is our requirement as a parent. कि नहीं बच्चा सुन नहीं रहा ये तो मेरी requirement है as a parent.
But probably that can be so many questions I have. So that can be the experience that the parent faced when he or she was at that particular age. That may come out of there also. That I don't want my child to face that what I faced.
Yes,
That may come
yes.
out there as well. That fear, but they're not able to explain that to their kids. Is it fine that a parent share his or her experience to the kid at that particular age, wherein we're not sure if the kid is going to understand that, but will that help?
Definitely, Akanksha, because you know, I also tell my clients also when they come to me that it is very important to share your success as well as your failure stories. Because until and unless you share your experience, child will not understand. And as a parent, you are carrying your fear. Basically, we say that parents are already carrying their fear from their past. So,
Right,
so when we talk about conscious parenting, it is that you don't put your fear onto your child. You cannot put your anxiety onto your child.
right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
Akansha, I want to add this one word here when Ashita ji has said conscious parenting. And your question was whether we should share our experiences of failures and other things to our child or not. I have a teenage daughter, not teenage now, she's into adult 20 years. Trust me, it is okay to share reasonable failures and mistakes. I'm
Wow.
adding the word reasonable here. Be conscious while you are parenting because your child is mentally putting tick and cross when they listen to you. Whether
Right.
this is an approval, okay, I can also do this. Now you have to
Mm.
be very thoughtful. And parents, they have this fear of failing the logic that child is raising. So when you're talking about getting rebellious at certain age when they enter teenage, I would say rather rebellious, they have a very high sense of logic.
Right,
As a
right.
parent, if you don't have those kind of answers to their logic, I think you need to brush up yourself a lot.
Mm.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, very rightly said. As there are a lot of things
Yes.
that we learn from kids as adults, and once we accept those things, it becomes the relationship becomes really beautiful. So we have 10 people who have joined us, and we're getting beautiful comments. So I'm trying to highlight the comments over here so that the speakers can also read those beautiful comments. Thank you. Pushpa says, all of you looking good, ladies. Thank you. We love that comment. Uh, Ila says, all my favorite ladies in one frame. Love you, Ila.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Every is an individual, of course. That's
Definitely.
what we're discussing. So with that, let's move to another speaker. But somehow, before moving to Savita ji on talking about that very complicated relationship, the in-laws relationship. So before that, I would like to highlight this point. Uh, Whether it's the relationship with your kids or in-laws or the relationship at work, every relationship which has some complication or which is going through some problem that demands self introspection, that demands how you feel about yourself as an individual. Because whatever is happening in a situation, self a relationship with self doesn't mean that you are supposed to change yourself. But the prerequisite to the relationship with self means You require self acceptance of who you are as an individual. You need to understand your emotions. You need to label your emotions at a particular moment of time, and it would really help in building those relationships. So, with that, let's move to Savita Sinhaji. She is the author of Rising in Love with Your In-Laws. And, ladies and gentlemen, here I would also like to announce that the people who are watching this session, few of you, two of you, can be the winner of the amazing book written by Savitaji, Rising in Love with Your In-Laws. So stay tuned, and you have to be there till the last. Ask questions, engage with this session, share it wherever you can, and probably the two books are going to be there at a place very soon. Savitaji, we welcome you. So apart from the author, she is also a lawyer and a legal consultant, and when a lawyer is talking about rising in love with your in-laws, there is much more to that. So let's know more about Savitri on that. Rising in love with your in-laws. So before that, I just want to know: is it really a complicated relationship?
Yes, good question. Yeah, it is complicated given that we enter into this relationship at an age, at a stage where we have gathered lot of opinions and groomings about many things,
Right.
and generally they are diverse. One has to relate to it from that point of view, that it is only about diverse points of views and nothing more than that. So if there is a square, and there is a possibility that you are looking from one angle and the in-laws are looking from the other angle, and
Right.
there can be a difference of opinion about that. So from there, definitely it's a complicated relationship, but understanding this point makes it very simple, very simple.
Absolutely. Very well said. So, the book Rising in Love with Your In-Laws, what is there in this book? A brief synopsis of the book, if we can get that. And whoever is married and they have in-laws at their place, till now, there are very less people who are living with their in-laws that they talk about good things about their relationship with their in-laws. It is always like gossiping and I do my best, but they don't do that. There are so many of expectations always there, and those expectations are one-sided. They don't communicate. They're not ready to communicate, but they're ready to do a lot of gossips.
Mhm.
So,
So
what is the biggest challenge in rising in love with your in-laws?
excellent. Thank you so much. So I would like to take forward from your sharing just before this conversation, which is about accepting yourself as an individual.
Yes.
So this self-love is very important. It is like the foundation for any relationship, and especially with relationship with in-laws. See, as far as your children, spouse, and parents are concerned, it is not that difficult to accept them with their limitations. You know, you have a emotional bonding with them, you have a physical bonding with them. There is intimacy in that relationship, so we accept them with all their limitations. However, if it is with in-laws that we are generally either looking at them to be perfect, we are expecting that they abide by our point of view, that they agree to what we are saying, how we want to do things. Okay, that's something that we are looking for, and that can be curtailed. See, if I can accept myself with my positives and my negatives, why cannot I accept the other person with their positives and their negatives? Why? if I can accept, so the most important problem that comes is that we are generally not able to accept ourselves only. So going to the next part, synopsis of the book starts with that this is a prerequisite. Self-love is a prerequisite of a rising in love with your in-laws. So whoever is watching this show right now can be rest assured that if there are any gaps, I would just like to say, using a positive connotation and a progressive connotation, if there are gaps in your relationship with your in-laws, the prerequisite has to be worked upon, which is self-love. Really, just look at yourself, accept yourself with your positives, your negatives. So then there is a way to do it. In the book, there is a way to do it, which is the next step. It's called consciously practicing gratitude. Just be thankful to them for whatever big, small things they do, or rather, for for whosoever they are in their dealings, in their conduct with you. And generally we look at gratitude as if कि कोई मेरे लिए कुछ करेगा तब हम उसको थैंक यू बोलेंगे.
Right,
बट
right, yeah.
बुक में जो 6 स्टेप प्रोसेस है वो इस तरीके से है कि वो दुनिया में अगर किसी के लिए भी कुछ कर रहा है, आपका इन लॉ, जस्ट टू से, then you can just thank them for that thing, that thing only. Even that will add to you practicing consciously gratitude, and that will add to your relationship.
Gratitude and thank you is more of a formal connotation. That doesn't come from mind.
So leave about others. Matlab, supposing there's a mother-in-law, I have a gap with the mother-in-law, supposing. So I've heard many people, they say कि हाँ बेटे के लिए तो करती हैं, पोते के लिए भाई उनका है वो करती हैं. It's taken for granted. No. Whatever happens to whatever your relationship or your conduct or your issues could be, you can always be grateful for, especially extraordinarily as a top up for who she is as a mother, as a friend, as a colleague, as a wife. You can. That's like multiplying gratitude, as I say in many of my videos also. So these are the two, if one practices these two principles, absolutely, it's a done case that the gaps will be filled and rising in love with your in-laws will be seamless. Okay.
Right. Absolutely.
And just to answer your last question, what are the barriers? Thank you so much for asking that question, because in the book, I deal especially with 3 barriers. If you get over these 3 barriers of the relationship with your in-laws, you will sail आराम से. तो सबसे पहला होता है कंपैरिजन. बहुत ज्यादा होता है. ब्रदर इन लॉ, सिस्टर इन लॉ, मदर इन लॉ, बहुएं, सन्स इन लॉ में होता है, बड़ा वाला ऐसा, छोटा वाला ऐसे. डॉटर्स इन लॉ में होता है, शी एडजस्टेड वेरी वेल, शी इज नॉट डूइंग, शी इज फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ माइंड, जनरल, those kind. So comparison is very, very harmful. Nobody likes to be compared. I have my own limitations and I have my own blessings. Everybody wants to be appreciated for positives and for their blessings. तो कंपैरिजन को तो बिल्कुल शन करना है, पहला. दूसरा जो बैरियर,
sorry, continue, then maybe I'll ask you.
Thank you so much. दूसरा जो बैरियर है, इट इज कॉल्ड सुपर स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओपिनियंस, जो कि हम खुद क्रिएट करते हैं. इसका मैंने बुक में भी जिक्र किया है. जो मेरी प्रोटैगनिस्ट है बुक में, शी सेज कि शादी के वक्त ही मेरी एक बुआ सास आई थी, उन्होंने मुझे ऐसे ऐसे बताया था कि तुम्हारी तो सासू माँ की चलती है. तो मुझे भी यही लगता है, यही होता है मेरे घर में. फिर जब वो कॉन्शियसली प्रैक्टिसिंग ग्रैटिट्यूड करना शुरू की, तब उसको लगा कि ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ उनकी चलती है इसीलिए सुनी जाती है. भाई सासू माँ की गृहस्थी रही है 30 साल तक, 35 साल तक. जो घर में बाकी मेल मेंबर्स हैं, उन्हें तो किसी मतलब अपार्ट फ्रॉम वर्क उनको मेल्स को कहाँ फुर्सत होती है. छोटी छोटी डिसीजन, गिफ्ट क्या जाएगा, कहाँ प्लानिंग होगा, दीज थिंग्स आर टेकन केयर बाय वुमेन. तो उसको लगता था कि भाई मेरी सास की ही चलती है. बट जब शी स्टार्टेड प्रैक्टिसिंग ग्रैटिट्यूड, then she realized that maybe it is her experience, it is her forte, and that's how she does it. मगर जब तक उसका वो सुपर स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओपिनियन था, वो नहीं कर पा रही थी कॉन्शियसली प्रैक्टिसिंग ग्रैटिट्यूड. तो उसको वो, that is a very big barrier, very number 2 that as I say. And number 3 is रेसिप्रोसिटी ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस, जिसको भी आकांक्षा जी आपने बहुत अच्छे से टच किया, कि हमेशा ये लगता है कि मैंने किया, सामने वाले ने उतना नहीं किया. रेसिप्रोसिटी ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस, या फिर मेरे भाई ने इतना अच्छा गिफ्ट दिया, तुम्हारे तरफ से नहीं आया, हस्बैंड वाइफ में. तो सी फिर जब मैं जैसे प्रोटैगनिस्ट सोचती है कि अब मैं सोचने जब बैठ रही हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि भाई मेरे को हस्बैंड इतना अच्छा मिला है, मेरे सारा टेक केयर कर रहा है, भाई आई एम रीपिंग द बेनिफिट्स, और द तपस्या जो मेरे है उसके में फ्रूट्स मुझे मिल रहे हैं. सो देयर इज नो कंपैरिजन. आई कैन जस्ट बी थैंकफुल अबाउट दैट. व्हाई शुड आई बी. अब जैसे मेरे को देवर सपोर्ट करेंगे, नॉट नेसेसरली मेरा भाई कर पाएगा या जैसे, तो व्हाई दिस रेसिप्रोसिटी ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस. आई हैव स्पेशली यूज रेसिप्रोसिटी ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस. बहुत बड़ा बैरियर होता है, तो फिर आपको थैंक यू बोलने का कुछ सवाल ही नहीं उठता. तो ये तीनों बैरियर अगर हम स्केप कर जाते हैं तो हम कॉन्शियसली प्रैक्टिसिंग ग्रेटिट्यूड करते हैं. और जब हम कॉन्शियसली प्रैक्टिसिंग ग्रेटिट्यूड करते हैं तो सेल्फ लव की फाउंडेशन बनती है. और जब सेल्फ लव की फाउंडेशन बनती है तो उसके बाद रिपल्स ऑफ ग्रेटिट्यूड और एक एम्पैथी के साथ हम लोग ऑपरेट करते हैं.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Ashita, you had a question.
Yes.
Yes, I was just asking this when you were mentioning कि हम comparison कर लेते हैं. So knowingly unknowingly बहुत सारे घरों में ऐसा होता है कि it is not for comparison, बट एक नॉर्मल फैमिली में बैठे हैं, बात होती है तो हम बोलते हैं कि अरे उनकी जो छोटी वाली बहू है वो तो ऐसे फटाफट कर लेती है, या जो दूसरी है वो नहीं करती है, वो उसको टाइम लगता है. जैसे नोइंगली अननोइंगली जब हम ये बातें करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं ये हमारा मतलब इट ऑटोमेटिकली एक इम्प्रेशन बन जाता है, या जो सुन रहा है उसके माइंड में भी वो सेट हो जाता है. सो नोइंगली अननोइंगली हम इसको जज कर लेते हैं. तो सविता जी, इसको हम कैसे
देखते हैं?
Yes. So now that I have come to know कि कंपैरिजन करने से उसका इम्पैक्ट होता है, तो इसको दो तरीके से इसको आप देख सकती हैं. पहले तो नाउ वी आर कॉन्शियस दैट वी डू नॉट हैव टू कंपेयर, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. सेकेंड ऑफ ऑल, अगर हमने कंपेयर किया और जो भी दूसरा व्यक्ति है उसको बुरा लगा, तो अभी तक क्या होता था, हम अपने आप को डिफेंड करते थे, अरे ऐसा ही होता है तो हमने वो बोल दिया. बट नाउ यू नो दैट बिकॉज यू कंपेयर दैट शी इज एंग्री, शी इज अपसेट. So now you can relate to her at another level, with empathy. आप उसके साथ relate कर सकते हैं कि हाँ, वो बात ऐसे नहीं बोलनी चाहिए थी, तुमने वो है लेकिन तुम में और भी तो गुण है, मैं वो देख सकती थी, वो मिस आउट हो गया उस मोमेंट्स पे. ठीक है, बट आई लुक फॉरवर्ड टू हियरिंग टू यू, एंड इफ यू नीड एनी सपोर्ट एट एनी टाइम, आई एम देयर फॉर यू. these kinds they will ये सीमेंट करेंगे, उस एपिसोड को सीमेंट करेंगे. फिर उसकी वो रिलेशनशिप आपका फॉरवर्ड होगा. और ये तब जब आप अनकॉन्शियसली किए, और कॉन्शियसली तो आपने ग्रेटिट्यूड में रहना है. और धीरे धीरे, जैसे कि मैं इंडिया की फर्स्ट ऑथर हूँ इस सब्जेक्ट पे, तो अभी वो एनवायरमेंट नहीं है, आप ये समझिए. मगर धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे लोगों को मतलब पता चलेगा, लोग प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, जैसे आपका भी केस है कि आप कोच करती हैं, तो आई एम श्योर कि ये जो अभी जिस स्टेज में है हम लोग उससे लीप लेंगे, और जितना अनकॉन्शियस था वो सब कॉन्शियस में आके फिर वो ही डिफॉल्ट हो जाएगा हमारा. That's the vision.
Right. So once we practice, it automatically becomes the default.
Yeah, धीरे धीरे
need to practice this. Yes.
मसल बिल्डिंग होती है जिम में, वैसे ये भी यही अभी जैसे अभी अवगुण देखना डिफॉल्ट है, और वो प्रैक्टिस करते करते गुण देखना डिफॉल्ट हो जाएगा, काम खत्म.
यहाँ पर एक क्वेश्चन just arise in my mind, like we are talking about gratitude, though people in India especially, they have this thank you and gratitude as the formal giveaway sort of a thing. That doesn't come from their mind or their hearts. They think, okay, these are the magic words, so we are supposed to use it. It doesn't come from within. So if I just keep this aside, thank you and gratitude, because most of the people doesn't understand the essence of it, the beauty of it. So is there the personality traits, like mother-in-law comes from a different background, father-in-law comes from a different background, the daughter-in-law is from some other background, completely a different background, and the personality traits, two different personality traits, trying to be there in one happy environment. But the question mark is, the happy environment is supposed to be created by these two people. Two personality traits, different two personality traits, and how they can create that happy environment.
So law of attraction
Okay.
says that one is responsible for her own life. So no
Right.
matter जो भी हो रहा हो, आपके
Mhm.
जो भी डिफरेंट पॉइंट्स ऑफ व्यूज आ रहे हैं आपके एनवायरमेंट में, आपकी फैमिली में, what is most critical is what is your point of view. अगर हम एम्पैथी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो क्या हम खुद एम्पैथेटिक हैं? अगर हम ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि वो हमारे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को हमारी लेवल पर अंडरस्टैंड करें, तो क्या हम उनको उनके लेवल पर अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं या हम अपने सुपर स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओपिनियन से देख रहे हैं? क्या हम भी उनको कंपेयर कर रहे हैं दैट मेरी मदर तो ऐसी नहीं है, इनका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्यों ऐसा है? आर वी ऑल्सो डूइंग द सेम थिंग दैट वी आर डीलिंग विथ?
Right,
तो
right,
ये
right.
बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है दैट यू जस्ट हैव टू लुक एट what frame of mind are you in. So I always say that this book is meant for anybody and everybody, whether you're a sister-in-law. इनफैक्ट लोग अगर ये बुक पढ़ें तो उनको रेगुलर शायद काउंसलिंग की भी जरूरत ना पड़े, मैरिज काउंसलिंग ये सब की भी, क्योंकि जो घर में ही जो आपके ब्रदर सिस्टर होंगे, जो मदर फादर होंगे, वो सब आपको एक इतनी पावरफुल प्लेस से काउंसिल कर सकते हैं इस बुक को पढ़ने के बाद. और वो बहुत मैटर करता है, यू नो, वर्ड्स ऑफ आवर लव्ड वंस हैव अथॉरिटी, राइट?
Right.
शायद इतना अथॉरिटी काउंसलर्स के पास भी नहीं होता है जितना हमारे लव्ड वंस का अथॉरिटी होता है. कुछ बोल दिया तो बस हाँ वही तो नहीं सुनना है. तो ये बुक आप पढ़कर, यू नो, इफ यू कैन, इट्स लाइक if you're looking for a manual that how to handle, how to support my friend, my sister, my mother-in-law to have a great relationship with or whatever gaps they are facing in their relationship with in-laws, you can just read the book. And it's I call it not just self-help book, it's self-help others, and that also right now.
Right, absolutely. Savitaji, we have a question from one of our viewers, and she says, if you are the object of comparison, then how to handle that? Can we share a few tips on that?
Yes. If you are the object of comparison, number one tip is, जिसने भी आपको कंपेयर किया है, आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, क्या आप उनके पॉजिटिव्स को देख रही हैं? आपको उसने कंपेयर किया, वो एक इंसिडेंट है, या चलिए 5 इंसिडेंट है, मैं एक बात कह रही हूँ, बट उसके अलावा उनकी और कुछ पॉजिटिव्स होंगी जिसको मैंने बुक में ब्लेसिंग का नाम दिया है. आप हमेशा ये देखिए दैट हाउ द इंडिविजुअल इज अ ब्लेसिंग टू द होल वर्ल्ड, नॉट जस्ट लिमिटेड टू योरसेल्फ. First step. Second step, really be thankful for who that person is as a blessing for the whole world. This is the second step. Third step, be empathetic. अगर उसने आपको कंपेयर किया है, वो भी किसी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आ रहा है, उसकी अपनी ग्रूमिंग होगी, उसके घर में भी शायद ऐसे ही कुछ डिस्कशन हो रहे होंगे, और उस दिन आपको उससे प्रॉब्लम हो गई, दोनों चीज मैच कर गया, उसने आपको कंपेयर कर दिया. तो वो बंदा खुद बैगेज के साथ आ रहा था. जैसे मैंने खुद एक बहुत फेमस अपना शेर, पोएट्री जो भी कही है, मैंने बनाया हुआ है, जो खुद कैद हैं क्या हमें सजा देंगे, खुद को आजाद करें और जिंदगी का मजा लें. तो जो कंपैरिजन कर रहा है आपको, थैंक यू, जो कंपैरिजन कर रहा है वो खुद कैद है, वो क्या हमें सजा देंगे, अपने आप को.
I think this line is suitable for any relationship, Savita ji. Very beautifully said.
Absolutely. Yes. So here we use a lot of term. Last question in this segment. So we talk about maturity a lot. कि अभी age के साथ the things will get better and maturity आनी चाहिए. यहाँ पे एक viewer ने लिखा भी है maturity के बारे में. It comes with time in any relationship. So is it maturity or is it understanding oneself or understanding that relationship? Is it really maturity?
देखिए, मेच्योरिटी का जो डेफिनेशन है ना, वो एक्सपेक्टेशन रिडन है बहुत ज्यादा. जैसे कि आपकी शादी कितने भी उम्र में हुए हो, आपसे एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि आप 4-5 चीजों की तो चेकलिस्ट होगी आपके पास. तो ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि मेच्योरिटी एज से नहीं आता, एक्सपोजर से आता है. तो हर का अपना अपना लेवल होता है, तो आपको उतना टाइम देना पड़ेगा कि वो एक्सपोज होके फिर वो अकोमोडेट करे. In fact, even as far as the girl is concerned, you know, sometimes we see that very newlyweds, they want to take control of everything. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is that it has an impact. अब आप कंट्रोल लेना चाहती हैं और सामने वाला का वो ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट है तो फिर आप हार रही हैं, तो टाइम तो थोड़ा सा।
राइट, सारी लड़ाई कुर्सी की।
हाँ, टाइम तो थोड़ा सा आप सीखो, ओपन माइंड से सीखो। ज्यादातर क्या होता है, हम लोग बायस्ड एटीट्यूड से सीखते हैं, अरे मुझे भी आता है, मैं रेसिपी देख लूंगी, मुझे नहीं सीखना। मैं ठीक है, तो आप ओपन माइंड से सीखिए, इट्स ओके। इंटेलेक्चुअल से लाइफ इज इट्स अ लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग, राइट? इंटेलेक्चुअल्स ये बात कहते हैं, तो हम कौन सा, हमें क्या है शर्म है सीखने में? थोड़ा टाइम लीजिए, आराम लीजिए, उसके बाद तो फिर आप में वो मेच्योरिटी, सो टू से, वो जो एक्सपेक्टेशन रिटन मेच्योरिटी है वो भी आएगी। तो द पॉइंट इज कि आपको अपना बिट आप करो, अपना बिट करो। ज्यादातर क्या होता है कि हम लोग छोड़ देते हैं एक लेवल के बाद। जस्ट टू टेल यू, मैरिटल लॉज में भी हम लोग ये बात छोड़ देते हैं, लेकिन जिनके भी बहुत अच्छे वर्क कर रहे हैं आप देखिएगा, जैसे कि मैरिज रिलेशनशिप छोड़ दीजिए, चाइल्ड और पेरेंट का रिलेशनशिप, आशिता जी भी है, मेरे बुक में भी रेफर किया है, लेकिन उसमें हम छोड़ते नहीं है, चाहे कुछ भी हो, तभी तो 2 मिनट में उठ के फिर वापस आ जाते हैं, ठीक है। लेकिन आप देखिए मैरिज जहाँ पे नहीं वर्क करी, या इन लॉज, वहां पे तो बहुत साल लग जाते हैं उस रूटने मनाने में, कभी कभी होते भी नहीं है, इनफैक्ट जनरेशन तक चलते हैं और आपको पता नहीं है, इसका इफेक्ट आपके बच्चों पे पड़ता है। योर
एक्चुअली सविता जी,
रिलेशनशिप।
मेरे को एक बात याद आ रही है यहाँ पे, लाइक इट्स लाइक इन्वेस्टमेंट। अब देखो, अगर मैं अपने घर में हूँ, अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ हूँ, उन्होंने मुझे पैदा किया, बचपन से पाला है, सो ऑफ कोर्स वो बॉन्डिंग है। एंड एज यू हैव इन लॉज, जैसे ही आपकी शादी होती है, इट्स लाइक अ बैंक। आपने अगर कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं किया है तो आप रिटर्न्स भी एक्सपेक्ट करना इज, यू नो, इनिशियल स्टेज पे इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट। तो इन्वेस्टमेंट अपनी तरफ से भी करते जाना है, एंड द सेम रिटर्न्स यू विल गेट फ्रॉम देयर।
बिल्कुल, वेरी राइटली सेड। आप क्या इन्वेस्ट कर रही हैं, आप क्या नर्चर कर रही हैं, इट नीड्स नर्चरिंग। आई वाज अटेंडिंग अ लीडरशिप कैंप, लीडरशिप सेमिनार, एंड देयर वाज दिस वहां पे मदर इन लॉ पे ही मैंने, हाउ कैन अ मदर इन लॉ बी लीडर, तो मुझे यही बोला कि बी नर्चरर। एंड आई थिंक इट अप्लाइज टू एवरीबडी, एनी रिलेशनशिप, वेदर आई एम अ सिस्टर इन लॉ, अगर मैं ननद हूँ तो क्या मैं नर्चरर हूँ या मैं इनसिक्योर्ड हूँ?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
very,
Very well said.
very
Very well
rightly
said.
pointed out. Nurturing is the key. You just और जहां पे भी गैप्स हैं, आप निश्चिंत रहिए, आपकी नर्चरिंग की अकाउंटेबिलिटी, अपने नर्चरिंग पे काम कीजिए, दूसरों पर मत उंगली उठाइए। कि ज्यादातर हम दूसरे की नर्चरिंग पे कह देते हैं, तुमने नहीं किया या तुम्हारे में गैप्स है, अपने में देखिए। जैसे कहते हैं ना, कुछ आईना खुद ही मतलब सालों से पता था। धूल धूल हमारी चश्मे पे थी।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल सही। Self acceptance and gratitude are the two keywords or the key takeaways from Sabita ji, wherein you can practice and imbibe those qualities in yourselves. And to add into this, there's one thing that I always say, and this time also I'm using this: learn to unlearn. When you accept there is something that you are supposed to learn, there is you are not supposed to shy away from saying that. So it happens with the in-laws relationship with as well. If I go back 6 years back, and I see myself, there were a lot of things that I was learning, but I guess the very positive point that we had was that I always was there and was eager to learn, because I always accepted that I don't know this, I don't know this, but I learned gradually with time. I learned. There seems to be this constant friction in relationships, wherein the other person is expecting some other things, and the another person is expecting something else, and they never know what are the expectations, since they don't communicate. Communication with gratitude and of course self acceptance is the prerequisite for any relationship to be positive and healthy. Once you accept yourself, once you see yourself, because apart from you, nobody else is going to know more about you. So you have to be there with yourself, understand yourself, and learn to unlearn. With this
Just
point, we
one thing to add,
Jay,
Akansha. Self love is about being hero.
being
आप
hero.
अपनी लाइफ की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेते हो. अगर आपका सेल्फ लव नहीं है, आप विक्टिम मोड में हो, तो आपको रिजल्ट्स विक्टिम वाले मिलते हैं.
Right.
सेल्फ लव
Absolutely.
हीरोज के लिए है.
Bilkul, bilkul. So self-love is for heroes, and with that, we move to our another hero of the session, Relationship
Absolutely.
Decode. And we have Reena Singh, the leadership coach, and she'll be talking about relationships at work, which are definitely very important. Because how you deal with your relationship at work, that also somehow has an impact on your personal relationships. So let's know more about relationship at work. So I just want to know, Reena ji, if I am supposed to define relationship at work, what would that be?
First of all, my great thanks to Ashita ji, Savita ji and you, because ये चार फ्रेम हमें दिख रहे हैं, जो मुझे लगता है ये चार पार्ट्स हैं हमारी लाइफ के, जो कंबाइन करते हुए एंड दे क्रिएट द होल लाइफ. Akansha was talking about self love, and Ashita ji has talked about parenting and child relationship. Savita ji ने तो पूरा पूरा फैमिली ही इन्वॉल्व कर लिया उसमें, जिस जो
Yes.
हमारी प्रेजेंट एंड एग्जिस्टिंग फैमिली होती है. And yes, the one part is workplace relationship. So anyone who's going to hear, I just want to inform my viewers that this is a complete set of relationships in one's life, actually. So
Right.
this is a beautiful topic. And to summarize the relationship at workplace, I would just like to share this one essential line, that we humans, we are social animals. Naturally, it is an urge to connect with the other person at workplace or any other place in our life. Now we end up creating a relationship with a person with whom we are commuting also. अगर हम बस में रोज एक ही जगह बैठते हैं और अननोन पर्सन के साथ बैठते हैं, थोड़े दिन में ना अचानक से हम देखेंगे वो नहीं आया, अच्छा आज ये आया नहीं, वो भी एक रिलेशनशिप है. अगर हम देखें कि अच्छा मतलब अनसेड है सब कुछ, लेकिन एक रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट हो गई है. सो रिलेशनशिप किसी भी मोमेंट में, किसी भी समय में क्रिएट हो जाती है. अब ये देखना है कि ये रिलेशनशिप मेरी लाइफ में, परफॉर्मेंस में, मेरे ओवरऑल वेलबीइंग एंड ग्रोथ में कैसा इम्पैक्ट कर रही है. सो 3 से मैं ये वर्क प्लेस रिलेशनशिप को समराइज करूंगी. अगर 3F, सो आई मे बी हैविंग अ फ्रैक्चर्ड रिलेशनशिप because of any reason. I may be having a functional relationship जहाँ पे bare minimum मेरे को जो requirement है वो fulfill हो रही है and functional है. And then it could be flourishing relationship where actually we are creating impact and we are bringing growth and opportunities for each other. So in these 3 beautiful F, I have completed the entire journey of relationship, starting from fractured to functional to flourishing. So you just quick recall, where is my relationship today in all these 3 F's, and whether I really want to convert my fractured relationship to the flourishing one or not. That's it.
Absolutely. So, how important it is to maintain a relationship at work?
See, it is if you really want to fulfill your aspirations, your dreams, अगर वो आपके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है तो रिलेशनशिप इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट है. क्योंकि हम लोग वर्क प्लेस पे, आई वर्क विद पीपल, थ्रू पीपल एंड फॉर पीपल. हाउ कैन आई बी नॉट इनटू अ रिलेशनशिप? Whether I am looking at that or I'm not looking at that, I accept it or not, I don't, I am already in a relationship. It's like a universal law. Gravitation is same for a king, for a poor person. अब वो कोई माने उसको gravitation है या नहीं, वो उसकी प्रॉब्लम है, बट gravitation तो है ना. तो रिलेशनशिप भी वैसे है. रिलेशनशिप आप मानो मत मानो, बट रिलेशनशिप है भाई. So now this is that crucial. So if you want to fulfill your dreams, you want to grow, accept that you are into a relationship.
Right. So, because if the relationship has some friction at work, it somehow impacts the personal relationship as well. So, what are the challenges that one face in maintaining healthy and positive relationships at work? Because what I see and what questions we had in our inbox, Facebook inbox earlier, that there is a lot of competition with regards to promotion, with regards to salary, with regards to hike and performance. There is a lot of competition, and that somehow ruins the relationships. And relationship begins with the comfort zone when they start sharing their personal stuff and some professional stuff. Then it starts with a relationship on a positive note. But later on, due to XYZ reasons, the increasing competition at workplace, it ruins. So what are the challenges in maintaining that relationship?
See, normally any relationship starts when there is a need, any kind of need, whether it is your need, even need of giving is a relationship. So when you are expecting something financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, or any other form, whenever there is a little need, you will start building or bonding, creating bonds and making a relationship at workplace or any other place. Now that first step, because both of you need, you will be into a relationship, that's step one. लेकिन उसके बाद ही हमारी, हम कहते हैं ना, डाइकोटमी शुरू हो जाती है, वो नीड और जो सविता जी ने कहा ब्यूटीफुली, एक्सपेक्टेशन रिडन माइंडसेट जो है, वही हमारे रिलेशनशिप का जो है चैलेंज बन जाता है नेक्स्ट लेवल पे जाते ही. आज का टाइम इतना डिफिकल्ट है. अगर इफ आई विल गेट मैरिड टू अ गॉड और गॉडेस फॉर एनी अदर जेंडर, इवन वो भी फुलफिल नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि एक्सपेक्टेशन उनको भी पता नहीं है कि क्या है आजकल. अगर मेरे लॉर्ड कृष्णा आज मेंटोर बन जाए वर्क प्लेस पे, ट्रस्ट में मैं उनको फेल कर सकती हूँ, बिकॉज उनको तो पुराने टाइम का सेटिंग पता है ना. अभी तो वर्क फ्रॉम होम चल रहा है, वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म की रिक्वायरमेंट आ गई, कैसे मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन ही चेंज हो गई. सो जब हम शुरू करते हैं, आई नीड अ मेंटोर, यस आई हैव अ मेंटोर. Over a period of time, I see, no, my mentor doesn't have sufficient qualities that I need. So my expectations are the killers of the relationship. So then how do you manage is the challenge. It is important to understand what you are talking about, the competition, but ये सब fear driven mindset और हमारी expectation baggages, ये सारी चीजें हमारे रिलेशनशिप के स्पॉयलर्स हैं. और जिस रीजन से हम रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करते हैं, नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे वही रीजंस हमारे रिलेशनशिप के ब्रेकअप्स को जनरेट कर देता है. सो द ओनली थिंग, इट इज वेरी जेन्युइन, योर क्वेश्चन इज वेरी रियल and very genuine, because I want to be best, I want to be respected, I want to be loved, cared, appreciated. That's my need, and that's the same need of the other person. The competition is automatic. The competition is so natural. So how do I now get into that hero mindset and come out of this victim mindset, that I start believing that there is sufficient for everyone?
Right.
In the workplace. So I mean, I'm already excited to give you the solution for that particular thing without you being asking. मुझे ये लगता है कि ये जो हमारा सबसे पहले, मैंने आज ही कुछ points बनाए थे so that I don't miss sharing these ideas for my viewers in this session, that जब भी हम relationship की बात करते हैं, पहला thought process ये होना चाहिए, focus क्या है. Is it, are you talking about relationship dynamic होती हैं, but मेरा focus है I need to improve, you need to improve, or we need to grow together into a relationship. Where is your focus? पहले देख लो. रिलेशनशिप की बात तो बाद में करेंगे, पहले फोकस देख लो. फोकस आई है तो अपने चैलेंजेस होंगे, फोकस यू है तो दूसरे टाइप के चैलेंजेस होंगे. एंड इफ यू आर taking the responsibility of relationship, that okay, we need to grow, the first step is probably improving on the language and the mindset or thought process that we have, saying that you are difficult, that person is very competitive. Rather than saying this, probably you can just acknowledge that yes, there is a difficulty, there is a competition in my relationship. See, rather you just eliminate that from the person, put it to the situation, put it to the instant moment. So what I am asking you is, rather than thinking that that person is going to change or I'm going to change, just take out your hands right away in front of you. दोनों हाथ निकालो सामने, उनको prayer position में ले आओ. और अब राइट हैंड से अगर हम लेफ्ट हैंड पे प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं, Just experience this. Can you experience? Tell me, what are you feeling? If you put pressure from your right hand to the left hand, what happens? What happens? What
Nobody's. But
automatically you will feel your left hand is resisting that pressure.
right, right.
So the moment I'm expecting other person to change, there is a resistance. Pretty natural.
Right, right,
So
right.
just accept that. Okay, so you can't get into changing other person. You can only work on yourself. On It's about mutual growth. And then there are certain skills which are like becoming aware, conscious, and communicating, having trust and respect. Those things are in place then.
Right, right.
That's the
Absolutely.
first step, that accept, bringing your clarity of the focus. And second, focus has to be direction. Whether you really want to, there in any relationship, there is 20% of problem and 80% things are fine. Oh, now if my nature is to become worried all the time, I can magnify those 20% issues and make them feel big and bigger or worse. So where is my direction of the focus? Whether I really want to work towards solution, figuring out what is working right and how I can improve it, or I want to only 20% जो challenge है उसी को सोच के इतना बड़ा कर दिया कि oh my god, this is just impossible to be in a relationship with this person at workplace. I cannot talk to him. I cannot tolerate him. So much so, कांक्षा जी, हम इतने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करते करते मैंने देखा है, if I don't like a person from other department or I'm not happy, if I have a disagreement also with my senior, I stop even the basic etiquette of greeting the person. ये भी पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस देखा है वर्क प्लेस पे कि लोग उतना पर्सनल हो जाते हैं डिसएग्रीमेंट्स को लेके, डिस्कशंस को, हम अपना ग्रीटिंग भी छोड़ देते हैं. So even this is next thing. Yeah, please.
So, as you said, people become personal. That was my intention when I was saying, because the professional relationship impacts the personal relationship too. So, since there is so much of competition, and when we see somebody as competitive, or probably the two personality traits, if I again talk about, somebody is more a sufficient kind of a person who's happy and satisfied with whatever he or she is doing. The other one is very competitive and dynamic. And the way of conversation, the way of communication is little different. And चाहे आप बोलो कुछ भी, सामने वाले को समझना वही है जो समझना चाहते हैं. It happens a lot of time, the communication gap.
Absolutely.
And with that, there are some miscommunication that arises between two people or two colleagues, and that impacts the organization's growth ultimately.
Yes.
So
yes.
It becomes for HR and the management team, it becomes difficult for them to manage that situation, and they do a lot of activities at workplace so that there can be teamwork and there can be team togetherness. But between 2 to 3 people, the interaction between 2 to 3 people or the team, that needs to be enhanced, that needs to be worked upon, whether if they are doing activities or not. But it is more of the communication part, how they communicate with each other. As you said, personal greeting bhi khatam ho jata hai. Acha, kal to he talked in a very rude way, and now he is wishing me. Why should I answer to? Why should I reciprocate? This comes as in. So how those two people or a team that have some friction in their relationship, in their communication, how they should work upon, और सब तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, फिर भी one has to take that initiative. How they start with that?
So that's very practical question and a must for all the places wherever we are having work, people working together. देखो, बहुत पहला एक बेसिक थॉट प्रोसेस में मेरे अपने मन से सोच के मैं आंसर दे रही हूँ with based on my experience. This first is that bothering me? Am I thinking about that conflict or that issue in my mind? If I'm spending my mental space and thoughts on that thing, that means it's an answer, it's a reflection to yourself that it is bothering you.
Right.
तुमको याद ही नहीं आ रहा है तो तुम कुछ काम नेक्स्ट action loge hi nahi na, because it is not bothering you. But somewhere if it is bothering you constantly, you would like to actually think about it, and that is your mental space. That's step one. Step two is, next is a thoughtful conscious decision to make whether I want to make it work or not. Am I
Right.
willing to do something about it? That will, if that will needs to be there. Are you taking the responsibility of doing, contributing to your relationship? There is never a balance in relationship. जैसे वो कहते हैं रेसिप्रोसिटी वाला चीज कभी नहीं होता. एक जन ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा होता है, एक जन रोज ही कुछ ना कुछ, मतलब एक जो हम कहते हैं, हम घर में
होता है,
मेकर्स को देखते हैं कि घर में 4 लोग सामान फैला रहे हैं, वो अकेली समेट के रख रही होती हैं. तो रिलेशनशिप में भी ऐसे हो जाता है एट टाइम्स. यू नो, देयर आर सम पीपल हु आर, when you talk about that gap, communication gap, maturity और all those things, generation gap, ये सारे words हैं जो हम use करते हैं उस प्रॉब्लम को हाईलाइट करने के लिए, लेकिन एक्चुअली ये एम्पथी गैप है. डू आई हैव दी फीलिंग्स एंड एम्पथी फॉर द अदर पर्सन? तो अगर है तो स्टेप 2 ले लो, आप सॉल्व करना चाहते हो या नहीं. अगर आप ये 2 चीज क्लैरिटी है, तब हमारा सोल्यूशन आगे बढ़ता है. और वो होता है जब भी आप अपने लॉजिक से बात करोगे रिलेशनशिप को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क. Because when you are talking great things, fabulous words, impressive words, but you are giving logical reasoning and everything is happening from mind, the body will not receive it and it will not be reciprocated to the other person in feelings and thoughts that you are looking for a solution. ठीक है, तो वो बंदा अपने डिफेंस एंड लॉजिक तैयार करेगा, अपना केस जैसे हम प्रेजेंट करने के लिए तैयारी करते हैं, वो उस समय सुन ही नहीं रहा होगा, वो अपने लॉजिक्स बनाएगा एंड ही विल और शी विल बी लिसनिंग टू रिप्लाई, नॉट लिसनिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है,
एब्सोल्युटली.
तो अगर आप दिल की बात करोगे रिलेशनशिप में, आप इमोशंस और की बात करोगे, फीलिंग्स की बात करोगे, आप दिल से कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हो, टूटी फूटी कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हो, यू आर नॉट एबल टू गेट वर्ड्स एंड यू आर सेइंग मैं एक्सप्रेस नहीं, इवन वो भी एक स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज है सामने वाले के लिए दैट यू आर एक्चुअली वर्किंग हार्ड टू bridge the gap and make this relationship work. That will reach to the other person.
Okay, this question with Reena ji, this question is for 3 of you. When somebody in a relationship, it can be a relationship with a parent and a kid, with in-laws, or a spouse relationship, or at a best friend at your or the best colleague that you had a very wonderful relationship with. If somebody is using this term that I don't want to lose you as a friend, I don't want to lose you as my doted daughter, or a parent, or a mother-in-law, or a father-in-law. So what does that mean? Is it showing that somehow the person is becoming weak in a relationship, or is it hampering the growth, or is it something that they want to work upon? They are not ready to, they don't have that logics, as Reena ji said, the logics or that proper communication method to convey or converse in a relationship. The simple word that they say is, I don't want to lose you as being my one of the best employee. I don't want to lose you as my XYZ, whatever relationship it is. So what does that mean? What does that convey?
Akansha, here I will just say one word. When someone is saying this word, with my understanding and my personal experience, the person is asking for a little time to slow down, to have patience, so that things can be seen clearly to take a final decision. जब पानी में बहुत ज्यादा वेव्स है, डिस्टर्ब्ड वाटर है, इवन यू नो दैट इज नॉट फिट फॉर ड्रिंकिंग, और यू कांट सी विद क्लैरिटी ओवर देयर, राइट? सो दिस इज अ टाइम बाइंग स्टेटमेंट बेसिकली. हैव पेशेंस, थिंग्स विल वर्क आउट, वी आर देयर टुगेदर. थोड़ा सा सेटल डाउन हो जाएंगे इमोशंस, तो हम दोनों मिलके कुछ ना, या तो तुम आगे बढ़ा लोगे बात या मैं आगे बढ़ा लूंगी बात, टाइप्स मैसेज है ये. अब शब्द नहीं है इन सब चीजों के, तो ये फीलिंग अच्छा, इसके ये डिपेंड करता है हाउ आर यू रिसीविंग इट ऑल्सो. इफ यू आर रिसीविंग दैट दिस पर्सन इज एक्चुअली प्रिपेयरिंग अ स्ट्रेटजी टू हैव माय रिप्लेसमेंट, it can come as a threat also.
Right.
It depends how these two people are receiving this particular statement in that moment.
Right. So my intention was asking this question was like if somebody is saying I don't want to lose you, the other person says okay that means I'm very important in this relationship, and the other person is going to do the way I am asking to do. So this happens, that this miscommunication happens.
ये दोनों ही गलत फहमी में है बड़ी जो भी ऐसे सोच रहे हैं ठीक है
So Akansha, it is also important, to define healthy attachment.
yeah
Right.
Because as a human being, as a social animal, हम लोग interdependence में हैं. We don't have to develop dependence. We are interdependent. So अगर एक नहीं है तो there has to be someone else who is helping you. Right. So we have to look for that. तो हम कैसे उससे आगे बढ़ पा रहे हैं? अगर हम वहीं stuck हो रहे हैं तो then it's unhealthy for ourselves.
Right. Sometimes
क्लैरिटी ले आओ, सवाल पूछ के डिस्कशन करके, इज इट अबाउट पार्किंग द थिंग्स एंड फिगरिंग आउट सोल्यूशन और इज इट अबाउट फाइनली मूविंग? बिकॉज ये अजम्पशंस जो हैं रिलेशनशिप किलर्स होते हैं किसी भी स्पेस में. एक अजम्पशन से दूसरा अज्यूम कर लेना, तीसरा अज्यूम कर लेना, ये सब रिलेशनशिप किलर्स हैं. सो पार्क योर अजम्पशंस, आस्क क्वेश्चंस, sit for a discussion, even if it is around अच्छा हम लोग इस टॉपिक को लेकर एक हफ्ते बात करेंगे, इस समय we are in spur of moment, let's not discuss this, let's park it for some time, buy in some time, एक हफ्ते बाद इसको डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. By then your emotions, you get hang of your things, you get clarity. It will be a healthy communication conversation between two people.
Right, absolutely.
I would like to add that I don't want to lose you is definitely it's an invitation to definitely give some more time to have maybe it is to have oneself more understood.
Right.
Maybe it's time to enhance your empathy quotient. And having applied whatever Reena and Ashita has said, if you've applied all of them in that question, it's okay. Learn to accept the response of the other person.
Right.
Sometimes you could say that, okay, मेरे साथ तुमने उस दिन बोला और अब धोखा कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा intention उस दिन था. It's okay. That's about being human. You have maybe उसके जो baggage है वो आपसे कहीं ज्यादा है, and it's okay. Be ready to accept. It's okay, and life is much bigger than those breakups. Much bigger than those breakups. And maybe there is something much more enhancer, magnificent for you. So just और मे बी मैं बहुत सारे क्लाइंट्स को अपने कहती हूँ जब वो मैरिटल में डिस्प्यूट्स के लिए आते हैं तो कि ये नहीं हुआ, मैंने ऐसे करने, just understand that it's a jigsaw puzzle. It didn't work. Right. Why do you want to go into all that blame mode? ऐसा किया, मैंने तो बोला था, फिर ये मुझे उस दिन किया, ये it didn't work. Two pieces didn't work, and life is bigger than that. आराम से अगर नहीं रह सकते हो, सेपरेट हो के आगे जिंदगी बहुत बड़ी है. Don't just get yourself stuck, as she was saying, Reena was saying, Ashita was saying. Don't just get stuck yourself on just that thing. It's okay.
So another question over here for three of you again. As you said, don't get stuck over there. So if an employee, a brilliant employee is going away from the company, probably कहीं और promotion मिल गया है और salary package अच्छा है, and the boss knows, the founder knows that he is an asset to the company. तो वहां पर वो definitely mental peace तो bother करेगा ही करेगा, and they try their best. The HR managers and head try their best कि okay, we'll increase your salary, we'll do this, we'll give you promotion, और वो जितना भी चीज दिखा सकते हैं वो कोशिश करते हैं दिखाने की, बट वो अल्टीमेटली माइंड सेट कर लिया होता है, कुछ दिन से वो काम नहीं कर रहा होता है, परफॉर्मेंस लो होती है. Is it something bothering you? The HR asks the employee to come inside the room and they have a conversation. No, sir, actually, I was not well. But that 2 months or 3 months were for planning to leave the company.
Exit.
And this is coming out of a long planning and everything that is happening. But when it reaches to the boss, and if the company is a startup or say small organization, so it disturbs the mental peace of the management as well. And because everybody is looking for more visibility, more reach, uh, more success, and success for them comes and sometimes comes in the visibility process or probably the monetary thing. How that thing can be managed, that is again a relationship, and very important relationship. Similarly, when we talk about breakups, as Savitaji was discussing right now, just leaving it then and there, okay, it happened, fine, let me move on. That doesn't happen instantly. There is a lot of ups and downs that one has to go through, and that impact the growth of an individual. When you talk about relationship with self, that impacts that also, that particular 2 weeks or 3 weeks, say sometimes it is more than 6 months, and sometimes it is going to that mountain cliff again and again, that I want to die. It happens again and again. It comes, the repercussions are these only, and this happens. They do write something and then they clear the pages, and it happens with teenagers. Sorry, I'm talking about teenagers, more than, I mean, 19 to 25 years of people who are into this age group, and they have their relationship. That happens with them a lot. It is happening with every relationship, how that can be managed, that time gap of the mental disturbance, when they get to that, and then they try to recover that is a long gap. And during that time, it's if you are able to build yourself, if you are able to make yourself more strong, or you are not. That is the very crucial time.
Yeah.
So what are the
yeah, so let me share my experience, that when you started talking about the question from a very important employee leading the organization, and this person has made the mind, and when the founders gives a lot of efforts in terms of carrots to stop the person, और फिर वो फाइन नहीं हो पाता, देखो ये कभी भी वर्क नहीं करेगा carrot strategy when a person has made up his or her mind. The maturity part would be not to give carrots.
Right,
and
okay.
It's all about being human. Some people take 1 day to get over that. Some people may take 1 year. It is completely personal process of recovering or reaching to that cliff and coming back, and becoming aware to accepting that particular thing. Recovery phase will be person dependent. There is no fixed time to this. However, my formula is make your best efforts, whatever you can, by talking to a person, understanding. And once you have understood, fail fast and grow faster.
Right.
People who are meant for you will stick around you. चाहे कुछ भी when it's a journey. बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे, contribute करेंगे, चले जाएंगे. Beautiful journey है human life की. So don't be only happy to have sunlight. सुबह आएगी, उसी को देख के मैं खुश होऊंगा. खुशी रात की भी करनी चाहिए हमें. So it is always better if such people who have made up mind, or they're not happy, or values are not gelling well, if they fall out, it is better to fall out rather than, even in two people having romantic relationship for teenagers, rather than breakouts are better than being in a relationship where there the person is not responding, and that pain is happening every day to you. So you take a call depending upon your state of mind, how much time you need, and you make it happen whatever way you wish to. But holding that person back because you are giving a carrot is a very damaging solution for anyone, for that person, for the organization, for the founder. So a quick, I mean, the way you realize will be much better if you can handle that thing. That is one time pain, a bigger pain, but accept it. That's the way of life. It's a message.
Absolutely. Right. So
So
with
Akanksha,
experience, जी यशिता जी.
so if you talk about the relationship also, जैसे हम कह रहे हैं कि adult since when breakup है या move on कब करना है या तो it is very important that we see कि हमने अपने लिए कितने सारे rules and regulations बना लिए हैं. That I should be appreciated, I should be loved, the other person, मैंने उसके लिए इतना किया, मैंने उसके लिए इतने पैसे स्पेंड किए, मैं तो उससे इतना प्यार किया, उसको गिफ्ट दिया, so I have done, she should have done or he should have
Right.
done. वो जो
Right.
अपने साथ हमने shoulds और must लगा लिए हैं, that other person should do. There is no rule book, right? If other
Right.
person, for some reason, whatever reason it may be, every time you cannot you know you, yes, you prefer to know the reason, but every time you cannot prefer, you get the reason कि दूसरे बंदे ने क्यों मुझे छोड़ दिया या क्यों ब्रेकअप हो गया या क्या हो गया, what was the reason. Every time it doesn't happen with this thing, no?
Right, right. If we talk about parenting, Monica ने भी लिखा है, Monica Goel Devan, उन्होंने लिखा है कि move on is not an option in parenthood.
True, true.
And really true. Even if the kids are not thinking about parents, how they are feeling, and kids have some certain set of responsibilities for parents. The parents don't have that option. कि, we can move on. अच्छा इनको छोड़ो दूसरे देखते हैं. So there is no option of that thing. चाहे वो after marriage also, after the kid is grown up and they are married, even then कहते हैं ना बच्चे हमेशा माँ बाप के लिए छोटे ही रहते हैं. तभी mother will call up and say खाना खाया कि नहीं खाया. Even the wife is there and they have a big family now. Even then that happens.
आकांक्षा, you will come across मतलब अगर आप पेरेंट्स को देखोगे तो I have seen variety of cases. इसको अगर मैं बोलूंगी तो पेरेंट्स आर विलिंग टू होल्ड ऑन, मतलब कब तक पकड़ के चलना है, ठीक है. if yes, so if now my parents, I have two brothers, we are three brothers and sisters. So if my parents choose to now spend their life the way they want, if they want to travel around, if they both want to go somewhere, maybe my parents, they have gone along with their age group couples to some different states, to some temples. So if they are willing to do something, if they have something productive in life to do, they are still active, then I think this holding on can be taken care. I understand that definitely. Even today, our parents love and care for us till the time they are there, till the time they are alive. They will do that. They cannot give up on that. But then the thing is how productive you are, how you are involving yourself, and how busy you are keeping yourself. तो तब आप वो एक उस होल्ड ऑन वाले प्रोसीजर से आप निकल पाओगे. बिकॉज अभी इस एज में अगर आप देखोगे, व्हेन योर पेरेंट्स आर 60-70, वो खाली बैठे हैं, इफ दे डोंट हैव एनीथिंग एल्स टू डू एट होम, घर में 4 बार आप सब बच्चों को पूछ लोगे व्हाट इज दैट दे आर डूइंग सिंस मॉर्निंग, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, या ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन क्या कर रहे हैं या क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाट दे वांट टू डू, राइट. सो it is their way of doing it and showing their love and affection. Yes.
अभी यहाँ पे सविता जी से मैं एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगी, बिकॉज इट हैपेंस इन रिलेशनशिप विद इन-लॉज अ लॉट, कि अगर नहीं बन रही है और रिलेशनशिप में बहुत ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन है, द न्यूली मैरिड कपल दे चूज टू मूव आउट ऑफ द हाउस. चलो कहीं और बसेरा बसाते हैं एंड छोड़ देते हैं. और नाउ देयर द माइंडसेट ऑफ द इन-लॉज इज कि इस उम्र में हमें छोड़ दिया, एंड द माइंडसेट ऑफ द न्यूली वेड कपल इज कि बहुत परेशान करते थे, हमारी अपनी लाइफ है, उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ को जिया है, अभी हमें जीना है. वी डोंट वांट टू हैव दैट रिस्पांसिबिलिटी और दिस रिस्पांसिबिलिटी, हैव आवर ओन किड्स टू टेक केयर ऑफ. दे हैव दिस. सो parents or kids में parents can't leave their kids even if they are too old, or even if the kid doesn't want to live with them. But over here as well, the kids at a particular situation in their lives, when they get married or they have kids, they choose to opt out, they choose to move out, and the parents are left all alone. So is it uh, the proper word that I don't have for this is it uh, justified, or if it is happening, that is fine with the laws of so-called parent relationship, or we need to resolve that thing that you are supposed to take care of your parents. Because over here the challenge that we get is, since childhood the parents were, when they were child, they were listening this कि अब हम from their parents, अब हम बूढ़े हो गए हैं तो अब तुम्हें हमारा ध्यान रखना है, घर में बेटा है तो वो माँ बाप का ध्यान रखता है, इसलिए तो तुम्हें बड़ा कर रहे हैं कि तुम हमें 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 संभालो. With that intention they are upbringing their kids. If it go back to few years, so this was the things that were in conversation with the kids, and later on the kids had that thing to their kids कि अब हम बूढ़े हो रहे हैं तो अभी अभी हमें तो आप तुम हमारा ख्याल रखोगे. This is the thing. और अल्टीमेटली जब वो नहीं हो पाता है, वो न्यूली मैरिड कपल चले जाते हैं छोड़ के अपने पेरेंट्स को, इज इट जस्टिफाइड, or is it uh, uh, is it a thing that can be understood easily? It's happening, we can justify it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Your question was not very clear to me, Akansha, due to some internet disturbances. Just let
The
me know
question
if I
is,
have understood it correctly. How do
okay.
we deal with
So
a
when
situation where grandparents and parents have expectations and that expectation is not fulfilled? How do we deal with that situation? So the first level is to just get that there were certain issues that could not be resolved, which can be due to
right,
many reasons, which can be due
right,
to due to my incompatibility,
okay. There seems to be a network issue.
as you started the
Can you hear us, Savita
conversation
ji?
with. So we expect that everything should be picture perfect होना चाहिए सब कुछ. So but this which is
Right.
not true. So really just get to what was it. क्या बेसिक इशू था, उस पर पहुंचिए आप अपने रिलेशनशिप विद इन लॉज में, और फिर ये देखिए कि बाकी सब सही था. द अदर पर्सन वॉज एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी, यू आर एक्स्ट्रॉर्डनरी, मगर एक वो इशू एक थी जिस पर आप, जिसके कारण कि बहुत कुछ हो गया. तो अब आपने जस्ट, ज्यादातर क्या होता है हम लोग लेबल करते हैं, तुम वैसे थे, मैं वैसी थी, तुमसे नहीं हुआ. But just get to that there was just this one thing which did not work out. And then so अपने आप को थोड़ा सा आपने डिस्टेंस कर लिया पहली बात तो इशू से, और जितनी भी उसके साथ इमोशनल रैपिंग थी अबाउट द अदर पर्सन, अब वो इशू पर आ गई है वो रैपिंग. अब आपको देखना होगा कि वो रैपिंग का क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट था, वो रैपिंग कहाँ से आ रही है, वहां पर एम्पैथी काम आएगा. वो रैपिंग किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट से आ रही है, जब आप उस रैपिंग को देखेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं बहुत बार ये रिलेट करती हूँ, लोगों को बताती हूँ कि अगर आप देखें तो एक चीज के बहुत सारे कारण, किसको दोष देंगी, उस एक चीज को कि उसके पीछे वाले कारण को. और अगर आप देखेंगी तो पीछे वाले कारण में शायद अगर आप भी होती तो आप भी वही करती. दैट इज कॉल्ड एम्पैथी, पुटिंग योरसेल्फ इन देयर ओन शूज, इन देयर शूज. तो अब आप जब वहां से देखेंगी तब आपको लगेगा कि ठीक है वो इस वक्त वो था और अब मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ. अब आप देखिए कि अब आप कैसे बढ़ सकते हैं, अब आप कैसे बढ़ सकते हैं. अब जो भी परिस्थिति है, अब आपने सब कुछ देख लिया, ऑब्जेक्टिवली देख लिया, ये ऐसा था, ये ऐसा था, अब आप कैसे उसको बढ़ सकते हैं. अब आप क्या वापस पानी डाल सकते हैं, जैसे मैं अपने बुक में लिखती हूँ कि आप रिप्लेनिश, रिफर्बिश और रीटेक कर सकते हैं रिलेशनशिप विद योर इन लॉज को. क्या आप वापस पानी डाल सकते हैं, नर्चरिंग दोबारा शुरू कर सकते हैं. एंड यस, दैट्स पॉसिबल. नर्चरिंग एनी रिलेशनशिप एट एनी स्टेज, as Ashita also must be telling you as a parenting
Beautiful.
coach, it's possible anytime. So just do it. Just grab it, give up the victim mode, be the hero, take it, and just proceed, whatever it takes.
Lovely, lovely. Very well said, Savita ji. With this note from Savita ji, we would like to end this wonderful session by these amazing heroes who taught us few tips and strategies wherein we can understand our relationship better. And to add to this, I would say that self relationship, how you deal with yourself, how you deal with your emotions, how you understand yourself. In order to become someone else, don't lose yourself. Christmas is the key over here. Ritual of 60 minutes of solitude. Take some time for yourself, sit with yourself, and talk to yourself. See how you see things and how you understand yourself. Once you start taking time, probably initially you may find it difficult to sit all alone and talk to yourself. But later on, with practice, you can absolutely do that, and you would be able to practice gratitude and compassion for yourself. Once you do that, definitely you will see a change in your other relationships too. Communication is the key. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk, and how you're talking, that's more important. We are grateful to all the speakers over here, all the heroes over here who taught us, who shared their expertise in maintaining beautiful relationships, healthy relationships with our colleagues at workplace, with our kids, and with in-laws. So in this month of
Thank you,
Fact
Akanksha.
Fest,
Thank you
this
so
was
much,
the
Akanksha.
pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much. So Feb is being concluded over here, and we are ending with this month of relationship, month of love, with a note of understanding yourself, have that self acceptance, practice gratitude and compassion, communicate with yourself so that you can improve your relationships which surround you. So, with this note, we take your leave, ladies and gentlemen, and probably next, very soon, we are going to be here again with another webinar series of important information for you all, which you can have and get into practice and have experiential learning, which you can imbibe in yourself and practice. So, we'll take your leave. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Thank you, Reena ji. Thank you, Savita. Thank you, Ishita ji. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of us.